Hey guys, it's Stacy with Chapter Chicks, and I know it's been a while since I've done a book review, but I'm going to be doing a lot of book reviews on these arcs to get them caught up because I'm like 2 months behind. Yeah. No more arcs for me. The first one is called Jenna and Jonah's Fauxmance. It's by Emily Franklin and Brandon Haplin. It's got 288 pages. It came out February 1st. Yeah, so that's how far behind I am. And this I've been avoiding doing this review because it's a review book, and I hate giving review books low reviews because I want to say nice things about all these authors, and especially when they send me their books, but this one I just did not like. It was not for me. I had to go back and look at my rating scale because I've never given anything below 5, but this one I give a 3. And if you guys can remember what a 3 is, it's where the beginning was really good and it had a lot of potential, but then the end of it just dropped off and the end of it was just awful. Start off about what the book is about. This is about 2 actors who play in a TV show together. The girl's name is Charlie Tracker and the guy's name is Fielding Withers. And I guess this might happen a lot, but I guess their publishers, or I don't know who made up this kooky plan, but these 2 people, they pretend to date in real life, I guess, to make them more popular, more in the paparazzi's eye. But in reality, they hate each other. They can't stand each other, but they have to go to all these public places and be photographed together to make it look like they're in love and all that stuff. But in reality, they hate each other. And a paparazzi guy discovers their secret and lets the world know that they've been faking it. So they have to kind of get out of the Hollywood's eye and try to figure out what's going on and what their next step is going to be. And then in doing that, they kind of find that they might actually do have feelings for each other, and they really didn't know the other person as well as they thought they did. That's what the synopsis says. You guys know I don't like to read that. When I started reading the book, I really got fixated on the characters. I usually don't get very obsessive about the characters. I'm usually really into the plot, but the characters were so boldly written that you just kind of automatically like focus on them because it makes you. It's kind of like gives you an insight to what it would be like to be famous, the downsides, the upsides, and how some things you really don't have a choice in and things in your life. And it was really interesting to kind of get a little bit of a peek into that world and what it would be like, to live your life like that. Charlie, her character, she's a very agreeable character. She kind of just does what people ask her to do without really questioning if it's what she wants or if it's who she is or if that's the image she wants to be portraying. She just is kind of... She's been acting her whole life, so she's just so kind of wrapped up in the Hollywood world that she doesn't really know who she is, and you get to kind of go with her through her character development and how she discovers who she is. Fielding, he knows who he is. He's not really into the Hollywood scene too much, but he kind of doesn't show anybody anything about himself. He kind of very keeps to himself, and he kind of has this image that he projects on purpose to kind of keep everybody out. And so you get to discover who he is along with Charlie. But that being said, the characters are very strong at the beginning. You can see that all this character development is going to happen throughout the book. That's basically the review without spoiling it, because I don't want to spoil anybody just in case you still want to read it. But I just hate books that start off strong and end weak. I'd rather a book start weak and end strong, because the ending was just like so boring. I could barely get through it, and it felt like it was a completely different book, because it's like there was so many good elements to the beginning of it, and it just was like, where were they at the end? They were just gone for me, and I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. Now I'm going to go into the spoiler section of the video, because I can't really talk about why I didn't like it or the ending, because everything I didn't like is in the ending, and I don't want to spoil anybody. So I'm going to go into the spoiler section of the video. If you don't want to be spoiled, then stop watching now. Okay. I'm going to call Fielding Aaron, because that's his real name. Charlie and Aaron, they go to one of Aaron's properties to kind of hide from the paparazzi after they've been sought out, and it's really interesting there, and I really wish the book would have stayed there at that house, or went somewhere else along those lines. because when they're in the house and they're by themselves, they really get to connect with each other, and you see their friendship growing, and especially in Charlie. Charlie, she gets to discover who Aaron is. I mean, for crying out loud, she didn't even really know his real name, and she's been working with him all this time, and she's kind of discovering things about herself, and the book is really starting to get interesting. But then the paparazzi find them there, and then they go to a William Shakespeare camp. This is where the book goes downhill for me. I didn't like the camp. I thought the characters didn't really get to interact with each other too much. They more focused on themselves. Well, mostly Charlie. Charlie mostly focused on herself and discovering herself, which was interesting. But I really wanted to see them grow, and because they were starting to grow and connect with each other. But towards the end, when they were separated and they went to that acting camp, I mean, I thought it was awful there. I mean, it was kind of like showing where they weren't really, people who are talented don't always get acting jobs, and people who get acting jobs are not always talented. I thought that's what the whole point of the camp was really about, was them discovering who they were as actors. And that's not something that was interesting to me at all. I wasn't really interested in who they were as actors. I wanted to see more of who they were as people, which you get to see a little bit in the ending, and who they were to each other. They're kind of separated at the end, and like I said in the beginning, there's a peak where, their friendship is building, and then they realize they have feelings for each other, and then there's that peak where, something should happen, but it doesn't. It just goes into their acting careers, and then by the time they do realize they have feelings for each other, it's like the moment has passed. It should have happened earlier in the book, and it's just like I didn't like anything at that camp. And you get to meet a couple cool characters, but besides that, I didn't like that path at all. I thought that they should have stayed connected with each other and went somewhere else and not had to focus on their acting or their careers. I think that maybe if they focused on their acting and their careers before they went to the house, and you've seen the connection between them start forming, and then went to it should have went to camp and then the house, because it seemed like the friendship between them was the most important thing, and it was brought in too early in the book, and their careers was brought in at the end of the book, and it was just all jumbled. I didn't like it. I mean, it should have been flipped, or the acting camp shouldn't have been there at all, because that was just very boring. 3 stars. It's the lowest rating I've ever given, and I would not recommend it to anybody unless you're somebody who's really obsessed with celebrities, because I have a mild obsession with, not even obsession. I find celebrities interesting just like everyone else does, but I'm not obsessed with them, and their acting and all that was just so yeah. So I hate giving that book a 3. I really do, but it had to be done. It was just not good. Not good. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for putting up with me and my procrastination. I'm a procrastinator. I've always have been. I'm working on it. I knew eventually it would show up in Chapter Chicks. Yeah, so I'm trying my best. Yeah, and I'll just get to the rest of the arcs, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you read the book, let me know what you thought about that, and if you did like it, because there is a couple people who have reviewed the book who actually really liked it, but that camp, I wish the book never would have went there. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review, and this is Stacy with Chapter Chicks, and this review was for you.